Hello, lovelies. This is Arielle from the Tree of Life Tarot, and today I'm going to do a reading on Hugh Grosvenor. And I had let's call it inspiration. It's actually an urge to do a problem-solving reading on him. I'll also do the same one for Prince Harry. But that's besides the point. It's a really good reading, this kind of spread, to look at what's the problem and what is the best course of action towards it. Really, when you're really at facing a wall and you want something to happen, but it seems impossible. That's a good spread to do. So as a cause of his issue, let's say, of his problem, and somehow it's that's why I had to really stop the first video that I was shooting, because it feels like this issue is about his personal relationships, personal life, the people at home, the people he lives with, that type of relationships, not just friendships, but really the family. And it's about a certain trait of his, that he's on one hand he's a very dependable guy, but on the other, and I just put this card as a clarifier to this one, he's kind of like, he gets he leaves a lasting impression in the people's lives, the people whose lives he's entering. At the same time, he's leaving them anxious and sleepless, because he doesn't leave roots. He's very quick to not as quick as one might think, but he's not putting down roots. That's really the easiest way to describe this. Now, really, what does he need to do about it? He needs to let go of expectations. This is the Fool card over here. He needs to let go of expectations. He needs to let go of I think he needs to let go of this pattern of coming and going. It's really something like one day you're here, the next one you're not. That type of, he needs to let go. But strangely, the advice here is to just it's interesting. He needs to and it's a controversial advice that I'm hearing here for that type of let's say problem that and this is not a problematic card, by the way. The Page of Wands is really the hustler, the guy who's really, when he like pins a target, he goes after it until he gets it. So that's a really good card, especially if let's say a lady is looking for what type of card is depicting her guy. That's the go-getter guy. But as a problem, is really saying that the go-getter, when he gets what he wants, he moves on to the next thing. And the thing that the cards are saying here is that first of all, he needs to put some light um, to his in his home. What I'm getting here, first of all, he needs to. He doesn't need more social life. He doesn't need more parties or gatherings or, I don't know, weddings to attend to. But he needs to. So this is also the card of going into the mountains or like hiking. So I would say that, however, it does feel that he needs to somehow he needs to ignite, I think, the light of love inside his home. So I would also just go with not inviting people in his home, and if possible to do even if short hikes, but to be in nature. If he's in nature, that will be it will be better. So if he wants to invite love into his life, really, he needs more connection to he needs more groundedness. So if that is go hug a tree or walk barefoot on the beach, or in this case, really, this is not a card for the beach, but it's a card for the forest. So go into the forest and walk barefoot in the forest, or hug a tree, or climb a mountain, that type of thing. But definitely, in order for him to, or even if he has, let's say, girlfriends who don't stay, the way to help in inviting love to stay in his life, he really needs to connect more with nature. Yeah, and that I have a strong resonance with that. So that's the mission here. So so why does he need to connect with nature instead of going to house parties or host a house party? Really, not host a house party. That's a strong advice here. So what he needs to do is, when he goes to in nature, and I sincerely hope that somehow that type of information goes to him maybe as an insight, is that he will travel. So that going in nature could be somewhere else, could be in a different country. That's really the world. That's what it is. It's foreign land, in climbing it in a foreign land, something like that. I personally could also see that as climbing, high altitude peaks, but not necessarily. Could be a very small peak, like a child's peak, and still do the trick. So really, he needs to connect with nature in order to get that insight where in the world he needs to go to climb, to be in nature. Not climb, to be in nature, really. A forest. You need to look at forest, peaky forest. So why does he, okay, so why does he need to stop with the parties? Because really the parties are going to get him more into work mode, more into entrepreneurial. The Ace of Wands is really the card of starting a new business, and or investing your time in something new, but it's more like work related. So he's not needing this right now. I would really see that as he needs more, like more love, to really to ignite the light of the to let the the key, the energy of love to enter into his home, really, into his home, so that from the inside he can attract the woman who will come and stay, and the woman for whom he will go and stay. So what does he need to all of this, really? He does not need, again, he does not need parties of whatever kind. That also includes both crows, but still, because it will lead to just sinking more and more into work projects, into career, whatever career means for him, and it will end up with him. I would interpret in this case the Eight of Wands as missing a chance, missing his chance, being stuck where he should not be. So basically, it feels like that at this moment, and maybe that's why I really felt like I need to do this kind of spread for him, is that he's at the crossroads where he's invited by the universe, but not pushed towards what type of life he wants to choose for him. And the two types of lives are the first I'll describe the one that he's heading towards. So the one that he's heading towards is social gatherings, new adventures, but the type of adventures that are work, career oriented. They might have passion in them, but they're not the kind of, homey, love, family, that type of, warmth. Really, the warmth is the key here. And in the end, he's heading towards being, feeling like he's not having any say in things, that he's, in terms of personal life, in personal relationships, that he's not, he doesn't have a fruitful action forward. That's really what this is heading towards. Now, the alternative for him, really, what I would say the universe, in this case through me, but with the release of this, energy through the Akashic records, it might come to him as a, I woke up one day and had this crazy idea that I should do that. So the alternative for him for inviting love into his home, really, in a way, it is inviting love into his home, and beating that pattern of, just coming and going and not sticking around, or having partners who are coming and going and not sticking around, is that he needs to spend time in nature. And as silly as it sounds, again, could mean walking barefoot in nature, go hug a tree, or go tell your worries to a tree. That's actually some an ancient ritual, but just be in nature. And in this case, I would say look for mountains with forest. So it's not just in nature going to the park, it's really going to the mountains. And if he can choose to trek then to that. Why he should do that? Because so the four of Pentacles is the card of preserving your wealth. Reverse that is that in the mountains, in let's say the code of mountaineers is that we are humans, we are in nature, we are under nature's mercy at this moment, and we should appreciate nature and everything that we see, and we are all human basically. The in the mountains, let's say, your credit card